Hey, this is me, Shriyansha, and this is my first video diary, in which I'm basically in which I'm gonna talk about myself and about one specific topic which I have picked up today, which is how I started navigating through myself, or you can say the ability to have like the metacognitive ability of mind. Metacognition basically means to think about the things that you think, like in basic sense it means that observing yourself from a third person's perspective. So first let me start with myself. I am Shriyansha. I'm 19 years old and currently I'm having free time off through which I'm just trying to navigate through myself, trying different things, trying tennis, trying to play, to run, to jog, to do journaling, which I will show later on. And yes, I'm very much fond of creative things. Actually, the thing is that I used to hate to do crafts and art when I was a kid. Maybe because the topics which we got or some those things didn't, you know, catered to my interests. But later on, as I started discovering through myself and trying to understand my likes and my dislikes, I later on came to a conclusion that yes, I am fond of creative things. So to talk about myself, I actually come from a medical background. Both my parents are doctors, and apart from that, I have a very small family. I am the only kid, and yeah, so being the only kid also gives you the leverage to just understand yourself, because I think that many people who have siblings are emotionally dependent on to them. Like most healthy people do not, but there are certain people who can't live without their siblings, their family and all that, which gives me an upper hand in a lot of things. Maybe my thinking might be wrong, but this is what I have observed and what I have understood. So let's start with the topic, how I started navigating through myself. Starting it from the start, my story is like from the childhood. My father really exposed me to very really nice people, not as a person, but I would say through biographies, teaching me about different people. Like as I started playing tennis, then I remembered Serena Williams. Who doesn't know her, right? She literally won Grand Slams a lot of times. So my story is, he used to tell me about Serena Williams, about the first Indian who went into space, and I really can't recall his name right now. And he also taught me about the first man who went into space, who was Yuri Gagarin. We all remember. And yes, there are a lot of people like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Like I myself think that my upbringing, not to flex or anything, it wasn't like I wasn't privileged. Like yes, I'm quite a privileged kid, but on the contrary, I would say that my upbringing was quite polished, in the sense that I know what my parents have taught me is not to be pretentious and to always look up to nice people and to learn nice things. And through that, I think that my father was the foundation of my me- metacognitive ability. Here comes my childhood. This is my childhood. Like I have explained it in brief. Later on, maybe I'll explain it further. But since childhood, there is also one thing which was very prominent in me, was that I was a perfectionist, which I still am. Perfectionist to a point where it was really very uh, problematic for me, because in my life the perfectionism literally seeped into every phase, every part of my life. Like for example, perfectionism before perfectionism, since childhood, I used to set my bags up. The first thing, I never let anybody, any of my parents, touch my bag. I used to set up my bags according to the timetable when I was a kid. until now also I'm out of school right now, but I'm saying that till class 12th I have done that by my own. I have managed my things by my own. I never like interference, especially in my things. So quite an hyper independent person I am. So this was the place where the perfectionism was there. Then later on, it came to things like keeping my things tidy, which is a very basic thing, but I am very particular about where to keep what thing. I really get irritated, so that is also a thing. And then comes the second part, how how it seeped into my other parts of life. It seeped into my relationship, my friendship, my relationship with my family, and every small thing which I did. So it just went on and it just got the best of me. So there were situations where they were there were do or die situations. Like, let me tell you the most prominent case. In 2024, by August, I wasn't able to manage my school and coaching together, so I was thinking for going for a dummy school, which was already quite late since I was already a few months away from my 12th class board exams. So I just went on and I asked my father that, Papa, please do something about it. That I just don't want to go to school. I can't manage it together. I just want to get out of the school and just switch it to any other dummy school. This was the story, and which couldn't happen since it was already too late. So I just went on and I continued myself in through that school. So I was at that time preparing for NEET. So since past 2 years, since my class 11th. Then in August 2024, I gave up. I completely gave up. I completely gave up to the point where I said that I am not going to prepare for it anymore. Whereas from August to May, it is a very much sufficient time for me to land into a very good college. But that was a do or die situation for me. And how it created, because I didn't wanted a good college, I wanted the best, which I could have achieved. I think so, personally. If the circumstances, I don't think so, I can't even blame the circumstances. This is what it is. So it just went on, and that is how it went. And I just gave up. I gave my NEET exam in May 2025, and when the result came, when the counseling, I participated in the counseling. When the counseling happened, I was 2 marks away from getting MBBS. One thing which I have realized is that you become who you think you are. Like, subconsciously I gave so hard. No matter how much I tried, didn't work. And when the result came, just 2 marks away from the cutoff of MBBS, I would have landed into a very mediocre college. But right now the thing is about not getting into the course. This is the primary example of my life. And this is the thing where it really created a problem for me. In relationships, I wanted certainty, which is very important itself. I wanted certainty, and where it created clashes, made my self-sabotaging activities very prominent. But here's the negative side of it. If we talk about the positives, it has benefited me in a lot of ways. I came first in my whole school when I was in class 10th, in my 10th board exams. It was a very extreme moment for me, because I wasn't like a very much of a topper kind of kid. I never came first, ever came first in my school, but when the results came, that was the first time when I came first, and it was quite an achievement at which when I look back I feel really proud of that. Yes man, I did something, I achieved something. This was the story. And now let's talk about how I started navigating through myself. So this is quite an interesting story to talk about. As I was talking about it, I just diverted from the topic. So this I just talked about my childhood and how things went. And then comes the next part. Kirti Chow. Many of you might be knowing him. Kirti Chow. He is actually a animator on YouTube. I started consuming his content when I was in class 7th. I was merely 13 years old, and I'm 19 right now, about to turn 20 in just a couple of months. So this is how it went. I started consuming his content, and to be honest, that I have not the type of critical thinking which I have acquired through him, like especially rational thinking. I would talk about is that him having a particular, you know, a particular not having a particular agenda, but on the hindsight, him being able to criticize something factually and rationally, not like just bashing something, taking a side or something like that. Him being able to rationally break down something and just criticize it and appreciate the good points from time to time. This is what caught me, and this is something which I literally have consumed his content. Like, every other YouTuber became irrelevant for me, but on the contrary, there was Kirti, and I really appreciated his content. Like me developing the ability like me developing the ability to just look back and just understand that how I was able to acquire that is through Kirti's job, I would say that. And then comes Anna Frank. You might be knowing him by the book The Diary of the Young Girl. I still have it with me, besides me, and here is my book, and I read it all. Let me tell you the story. How this book was responsible for getting me into journaling. When I was in class 10th, I read the story which was there in the NCERT textbook, textbook. The chapter was from the Diary of Anna Frank. So so I started read. I After completing my board exams, there was quite a long halt in between. So I read this whole book, and there are some bookmarks in it too. So I read this whole book, and this book inspired me to write. I actually have a few of my journals with me, like I've completed them all, like completely, and there I have talked about a lot of things in them, talked my heart out, and did a lot of journaling too. So kudos to Anna Frank for getting me into this. And then, like, these are the few of my journals. I write in a lot of small diaries also. So this is it. There are a lot of things to talk about. And then here is Anna Frank, and then comes like my black and white thinking. To talk about my black and white thinking, I think that it has, seeped out from my perfectionism. I have personally noticed my black and white thinking when I was in class 9th and 10th. I suffer from BPD, borderline personality disorder. So I think that I have started observing my black and white thinking was when I was in class 9th and 10th. Was that I developed an extreme hatred towards one of my friend who was my friend since 14 years. We are still in contact, but I have maintained a distance because some of her ideas haven't resonated with me. So I guess this is the best way, not to fight, not to do anything, but on the contrary, just making a nice distance. So the black and white thinking has actually led me to a lot of situations which had created a do or die moment for me. Especially it has sabotaged a quite handful of my relationships, not only with my family or something, but with my friends and with my partners and all that. It has quite sabotaged a lot. So this is also quite a thing which I'm learning through and through. And here comes the last part: critical thinking. Critical thinking I developed when I was 14 years old. Not like I developed it completely, but this that was the foundation how I uh, got the ability. I would say that that was a point in my life where I got the ability to look at myself through from a third person's perspective. It's not like I don't fumble. It's not like I don't mess around. It's not like I all my choices are right. No, many of my choices are impulsive decisions which I later on regret quite a lot. But on the contrary, there was a point of time where there were a lot of things about which I was really bothered. But even though I regret those decisions quite a lot, when I look back at my life, if I get a chance to change anything in my life, I wouldn't be changing a single damn thing except one thing, which is probably preventing my Mausy's death. She died on 16th June 2026, just exactly 1 month back. So, yeah, that was quite a sudden death, but if I get a chance to reverse it, I would definitely would. Because death of a loved one is where all of the critical thinking fails. Something which you haven't even anticipated, it happens suddenly, hurts to say the least. And at the most, it literally feels like somebody ripped your heart out of your chest. So this wouldn't be the most also. That pain is something which only when someone experiences it, they would only understand. And when I used to undermine the pain of others, now I have gotten the clarity to understand the pain and everything. One thing which I would always tell everybody and for people to know is that never compare your pain with others. Every life is big for the one who is living it. The two statements which I have given are something which are self-explanatory, and if you aren't able to understand what I mean, maybe I think that you need some emotional maturity, or I don't think so going through pain matures people. Sometimes it makes people stunted, emotionally at least, I would say. But having the ability to look with empathy at others is something which everybody should have. Because always I go by the saying neki kar darya mein dal. So this is something which people just need to know, and people, for them to just look on. And yeah, this is how I navigated through myself. I tried to understand myself, and this is my first video diary. I really hope that I keep on posting more, and yes, I get the ability to do more. And as I'm working on myself, I just hope I become better in physique, mentally, socially, and in future economically and financially. So just to look back at myself and to be like, yes, this is my 19-year-old self. She has worked on herself, and that is how I became who I am today. And I'm very grateful for my life, for the experiences which I have. I'm still grieving, so maybe I'm thinking from a point of selfishness. I really don't know, but if I get that one person back whom I love the most, I would do anything. There was one more thing which I forgot to add, my journaling entries. Please see, I'm a big fan of Formula 1, so at least for the time being, I'm not following right now, but like I'm just keeping up on it, like on a surface level, I would say. But here is it. Like me doing a journaling of Carlos Sainz last year when he got into the Williams Formula 1 team. And yeah, here I have wrote his name, his full name, and you know how many Grand Prix he had entered at that time, during that time, and in how many teams he have been, like Toro Rosso, Renault, McLaren, Scuderia Ferrari, and Williams. And yeah, so here is also the song, like a Spotify code of the song Smooth Operator. And yes, like if you will like scan it, of course it's gonna play. So yeah, this is it. And in my other diary, this diary is completed. Like here when I got my board results, like here is my signature and all that, just to hide it. So here it is, like I got 500 rupees from my maternal grandfather, my nanaji. So here it is, like I just folded it into an envelope and I just stuck that envelope here. And there this diary is completely filled. And you know have written a lot, like as much as I could. And I also have done junk journaling once. Like I recently have started to do makeup. I was quite a tomboy, so here is my junk journaling of all the makeup products and all the, like I have tried to dye my hair twice, once through Paradise and the second time through Garnier. And like I did it a week back and I guess it is still a little pinkish. I use the color burgundy, and I hope I would be keep like sorry I hope I would be keep making these diaries in the future. And I really hope when I look back at myself, I just be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, this is me, this is me, this is Shriyansha. And yes, this is me, this is Shriyansha. And thanks for watching the video. At least I'm thanking my future self. I hope she will watch it, even though she will cringe out. There might be a lot of things at which she will cringe out, but yes, I'm really happy that I made it. I did something, like I did my makeup, I did my lips. Like finding the right shade is a pain in the ass, which I did, and I'm really proud of it. So this is it, this is me. I hope I keep making this. Bye bye.